Good afternoon. My name is Naisha Braggs. I currently attend Chattahoochee Technical College, where I'm striving to get my associate's degree in early childhood education and development. This assignment is for my ECCE 1105 Health, Safety, and Nutrition course. Now, let's talk about food safety. I'm going to break it down into three main points. Number one is going to be preparation, how to stay safe, and if we don't stay safe, how that could potentially affect our children. Number two is going to be food safety within itself in regards to food items, temperatures, cross contamination, foodborne illnesses. And lastly, my last point is going to be children, hygiene, guidance, and how these all can affect food safety. So let's dive right in. Number one, the biggest thing I'd like to stress is making sure you have your food prepared before the children arrive. Why is this important? For the food and its safety, when you start preparing it or when you start to cook it, making sure you give it the proper attention, which is 100%, and following through all the way to the end of completion. Now, if children were there, you would have to give the children your full attention, or you'd have to give the food your full attention. You cannot give full attention to two entities. The other, for instance, would be maybe you would end up having to leave children unattended. And we know at this point that is a no-no and should never, ever happen. So making sure that the food is ready to go, making sure you're preparing the food in an area that is clean, that has been properly disinfected, and you have all the necessary tools that you're going to need to prepare food. One tool that I'd really like to stress is a food thermometer. This will be talked about in just a second and more in depth in my second point, but temperature and tools, making sure you are aware of the proper temperatures and the tools that you need to make sure that the food is being cooked at proper temperature. So that is the end of my first point. Now this leads me into my second point. Why is a thermometer important? You can't really just eye certain things. You can do that in your personal home, but when it involves children and in a professional setting, making sure that you know the temperatures of which poultry meats are done and cooked is really, really important. Meat, especially poultry, carries E. coli, salmonella. Those are foodborne illnesses that can cause food poisoning, can put people in the hospital. Only poultry carries these type of bacterias. So please make sure you know the proper temperatures of when the chicken is done and what temperature to keep the chicken in before you're preparing it, especially if you're cooking in bulk. Moving on to cross-contamination. What is cross-contamination? If I have a cutting board and I am preparing chicken, then I go right into cutting fruit, making PB&J sandwiches on the same cutting board using the same tools such as that knife. I didn't wash it in between. I didn't even wash my hands in between. That is considered cross-contamination. Cross-contamination is the number one spreader of foodborne illnesses and our food poisoning. Making sure we are not doing that is a way that we can prevent children from getting sick, losing days at school. These are all very important things. Also making sure that we are preparing the right amount of food. So we're not letting food go to waste. If we do have leftovers that can and will be good the next day, making sure we are refrigerating them right away and keeping them refrigerated until the next use. Next thing I really want to stress this is looking at the food. Is there discoloration? Is there mold? Big ones. If we're preparing snacks that are already in individual packaging, are there broken packages? Are there some that look like they've been torn open? Is there even a package that doesn't look like it's torn, but if you look really closely, there's a little hole there? Throwing those things away is huge. I know that can be hard nowadays because no one wants to waste food, but it's all about children and their safeties. Now, moving on to the last point, I don't want to overload, but like I said, children, hygiene, rules, our guidance, and how that can all affect food safety. Number one, children should always be seated when they are about to consume a snack or a meal in your care. If they aren't, they can be prone to choking. They can be prone to, if, let's say, for instance, they didn't wash their hands, now they're spreading germs everywhere. Making sure that they're seated, making sure they've washed their hands before and after they eat their snack. I also want to talk about if a child is sent to school sick and their parent can't pick them up for whatever reason, you need to take the proper steps to make sure that during snack time, especially where hand goes to mouth a lot, that child who is sick is maybe put off to the side, maybe gets to eat a little bit earlier, taking these steps so that they don't only spread their illness, but also doesn't contaminate the food of other children. Making sure that everyone has proper hygiene, especially the person that's serving the food, if it's not coming from the child's personal lunchbox, is a big one. Making sure that we ourselves are not serving food if we are sick, and taking the proper steps as well to not hopefully go to work if we are also sick. The other thing, making sure we are within arm's reach. Okay. Eating is considered a high risk activity, meaning a lot of things can go wrong very, very fast. So making sure we are within arm's reach so that we can intervene should we need to. Thank you so much, and I hope I was able to share or plant a seed or even encourage you to check, how did I serve food this week? What are some things I could have done better that would have promoted food safety? Thank you so much.